It is the final week before NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and we're going to be talking about all of the matches going on that night. But first, we have 2 matches to go over from tonight, including a whole mess of debuts in the NXT Women's Division, so stick with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That was weird. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the NXT After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I am one of your hosts, and it's Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Joined as always by the entirety of the NXT team. That's a nice belt you got there.
It's a big gold belt.
Mr. One True Hobo. How are you?
Friendship Express. Going big gold guest.
Find him on Twitter at True Hobo. Bill Hanstock.
Hey everybody, you can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel.
And joining us this week from UpRocks.com, Mr. Brandon Stroud, who can conveniently be found on Twitter at that exact same address.
That's me. Thank you for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure to have you here in the studio.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
And a little sad that it's not too big of a show to talk about this week, but happy that we get to break down
It's better.
TakeOver with
We
you.
get more opinion.
Yes, better than this.
That's why we have people on the show, is to get their opinions.
We know that our viewers love it when we go off topic.
Oh, 100%.
So,
It'll be
We're
perfect.
lucky to be on topic right now.
yeah.
We got to, well, let's change that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of opportunities tonight. We've got, we can talk a little bit CWC. We can talk a little bit of all of the women who debuted tonight. But the first match of the night, Hideo Itami versus Mustafa Ali, who, as Bill and I have discussed on multiple occasions, is the standout.
Well, one of the
One of the standouts from the first round of the CWC.
Did he wear a shirt when he was in the CWC? I don't
Yes.
remember that. Okay.
Yeah, he wore similar sort of pads.
Okay.
Have you been watching the CWC, Brandon?
I have indeed.
So what are your opinions on Mustafa Ali from his performance there and here?
I think he's like Sean Maluda if Sean Maluda was a better wrestler.
Fair enough. That's pretty fair.
Shout out to Sean Maluda. Yeah. No, I think he's dope. I
Big up,
mean,
Sean Maluda.
hey, big ups to my man Sean Maluda.
Hey,
how's Biggie's nuts?
Try one of these oos.
No,
Yeah, basically, Sean Maluda is what would happen if one of the Usos grew up watching Sema wrestle and not the other Uso.
I think Sean Maluda is kind of what would happen if both Usos like stationed like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
that took me a second. That's
But
great.
Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Mustafa. That kind of works, right?
Yeah, no, it totally
No,
works.
it's great. I think he's good. I think that round 1 had a lot of like established guy you know is going to move on versus a can, and I think Ali Mustafa was a good surprise. I hadn't seen much of him, and I really enjoyed him.
And in this match tonight, Hobo, I know we were talking about it while we were watching the match. He got a lot of offense in because of his the stuff that he was innovating with his movement.
The
around the
story
ring.
that they were telling in this match was Mustafa like gets an edge on him and then gets too cocky, and when he calls out Hideo Itami for being an old man for some reason, and then he just gets taken to the woodshed.
It seemed like after a devastating loss in the CWC, Mustafa Ali looked to make the ultimate impact against Itami in his second match back, but I think it all sort of ended with that diving drop kick to the outside, which was right on the mush.
That just, oh, Jesus. He just took him out. He just straight up, he didn't even see it coming. It hit him in the side of the head. He could have just gone into the back at that point.
Foot to head, head to floor.
And right on the entrance ramp, too.
Yeah, pretty painful. His innovative offense didn't amount to much, though, because once Itami got a striking, and I'm thinking of all of your famous Irishman tweets. Bill, you need to follow you. Everybody nees to follow you on Twitter.
Famous, noted Irish Japanese wrestler Hideo Itami.
Yes.
But Hideo got the win after his running knee.
Yeah.
Is the running knee working for everybody?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's nice to have it back from Daniel Bryan. I mean, it's bad to not have Daniel Bryan around, but I'm glad that Hideo Itami is going to get to reclaim all of his finishers.
Yeah, because all of his finishers are basically every finish or move you liked from 2010 and 2014. So it's the go to sleep, the yes lock, the running knee, the Kenta Rush, which has been stolen by tons of people.
Right.
Even the missile dropkick, the way that he missile dropkicks. I mean, that's
that Devitt does it. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry.
I just
Finn Balor.
worry.
It's all right.
I just worry that knee is too close to the Kinshasa. Like it's almost overlapping.
There's a lot
Judged
of
a little
there's a
bit
lot of
differently, but
kick and knee based finishers going around WWE right now.
yeah.
yeah.
I think Itami's only really going to survive his reputation, at least in NXT, based on his relationship with Nakamura, unless Nakamura just bails.
Well, I'm really loving the story that they're telling with Itami right now, where he just got pissed and just absolutely destroyed Ali, and I love that he's got this new. I mean, like he hit hard before, but this is like another level. Like now he's pissed off and he's looking to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I think that the surgery storyline of like him coming back and needing to prove that he's still one of the best in the world and just being pissed off that he had to take so much time, that's a good storyline.
I agree. It's working.
It's a good Hideo Sex Machina.
That was a good one. That was a super solid one. And they you right?
Yeah.
They even
I winded him. He's blown up.
you very winded him. They even mentioned on commentary that he was looking for he was in the title picture and unceremoniously got beat up and taken out.
Well, he was title picture adjacent.
Well, it doesn't help tell the story, Bill.
It's really, I think it's understated because they say he was in the title picture, but there's so much more to it than that. The entire company was different when he was there.
Yes.
Like everyone was there. I mean, Balor was there, Kevin Owens was there, Joe hadn't debuted yet because he debuted on the same show that Itami goes out on. And now he's back, and most of those dudes are gone. There's like a whole new influx of cruiserweights. When he was there, he was the international Japanese star. Yeah. And now he's back, and Asuka's there, and Nak is there, and it's like he's kind of overshadowed. He has to find his own identity, and I think pissed off old man is a pretty good way to go with it, even if he's not that old of a man.
For sure.
It's a good point. You sort of missed the fact that he missed an entire generation.
Yeah,
he basically just skipped the whole middle, and now he's got to really come back. And you're right, find himself.
It's a great underdog story. I think it's a really one that they could take it as a happy accident, kind of. Really build him an underdog follower.
What's everyone's guess as to who took him out in the first place? Because my guess is Rikishi.
He did it for The Rock.
I did it for you, Knock.
I did it for
The Rock.
Son of a biscuit.
I stand by Finn Balor did it, man. Finn Balor did it, and now Balor's gone, and he's never gonna have to pay for it.
That's wait for it. There could always be retribution. Sure. You may just have to wait a little bit longer for it, which makes for a more Shakespearean experience.
Remember that, kids. There can always be retribution.
Always. I lived my whole life by that.
You learned it on the
streets.
There
are people who have wronged me. Of a long list.
That's why you always...
And I'll get you. I swear. I will get you.
That's why you always carry a brick.
Yeah.
They never like, oh, is that? No.
It's in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten very good at tossing it. It's distance. People who know they've wronged you, they won't allow you to be that close to them.
Sure. You gotta really wing it. You gotta
chuck a brick.
Yeah.
I carry around a CD single of Ben Folds' Brick.
It's a lot lighter, and you can get a little bit further.
You just emotionally devastate your.
It's way more depressing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm lying to you guys. I had it. I got it for Christmas, but I had to sell it.
What did you get for it?
It's a reference to the song on the CD single.
Oh, see, I'm not a folder.
Ah.
Yeah.
You're not a fold head?
I'm not a fold head.
You're not a bender?
No, I am a bender. I'm definitely a bender.
Totally
right
bent.
after this show, I'm going to be bendering it up all over the place.
So we get an announcement.
You know, I think if the Ben Folds 5 ever stops making music, they should go into organized combat sports. I think the 5 would be great for fighting.
I thought you were going to say that Ben Folds 5 should go into opening a laundromat.
But he would only fold 5.
Yeah, and then have to go to business.
Five at a time.
Yeah.
We folded 5. Sorry, everyone. We're close.
So, sorry to go a little bit off topic here.
Oh, this is the NXT.
Is the application for Uproxx just like a list of your best puns?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's terrible. I wish we could share the conversations that we have. Our work day, basically, for those of you watching at home, is just sitting and not writing because nothing's happening in the world of wrestling.
Except today.
Except for today, which is crazy. But then being like, so should we write about Nitro from 20 years ago, or should we just sit in a room and list off puns all day? And that's pretty much what we do.
Puns, yeah.
It's a great job.
It's usually puns.
Puns works.
Yeah.
We get an announcement in the back. We're going to be getting a 6-woman tag match Carmella, Liv Morgan, and the debuting Nikki Glencross versus Alexa Bliss, the debuting Daria Berenato, and the debuting Mandy Rose in a 6-woman tag match.
See, just last week we were talking about how the women's NXT division had gotten gutted, and we're just waiting for this influx of new talent. And this week we got 3 debuts in one match.
I like to think that the actual tough Daria is Jane.
Nice. I got it.
Took me a
That's
second.
really good.
Got it.
It's a deep cut.
Daria Berenato, friend of the program.
Hey, the first cut is the deepest.
Let's keep going back.
Maybe I know.
I'm just happy, and I know. Speaking,
You're just happy.
I am just happy. I'm not just happy to be here. I'm just happy.
Awesome to see Daria, our good friend Daria, and awesome to see
Beyond.
Mandy, and awesing to see Nikki, which we've been waiting for for so long.
Looking very Scottish,
Yes,
which we'll talk
super
about.
Scottish.
I was afraid to
She looked like she Highlandered blue pants.
Yeah. There can only be one.
and made one addition for the Scottish cross.
Yeah.
Maybe. We
She's
got
Clan MacLeod.
Blue.
She did.
That's really good. That could be the only one. That's why they stopped.
Blue pants to lead them.
They're just gonna put tape over blue pants to put Nikki Glencross and like just sharp or white out the X on the shirt.
Yeah, the shirt just
they
is
never
gonna
sold any.
have blue pants and then say Nikki Glencross.
Exactly. They'll Nikki Glencross it out.
Can we take a moment while we're talking about shirts to talk about Naya's shirt and what they did for the men's version of it?
No, what's up?
So they put out a shirt that
You didn't
says,
see this?
I'm not like most girls, and
Perfect.
they put it out in men's and women's.
Yep.
And then, like, the next day, they pulled the men's version and they re-uploaded a new men's version that just says, I'm not like most.
they just like
Blacked out.
that's so stupid.
So
They
bad.
should pull it today and re-release one that says "I'm not like," and you can just collect the whole set.
I want to get the I'm one.
Yeah.
Just I'm.
I want to get the one that just says like most.
The "I'm" shirt is the AJ Styles shirt. Just,
Yeah,
I am.
I'm.
They should have just
Fair point.
added a comma. I'm not like most girls.
The best part of that
perfect.
shirt, though, is that if you're a man and you're wearing a shirt that says "I'm not like most girls," it's accurate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It couldn't be more accurate.
It's not offensive like the last kicker one.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how they fixed that. by
Dame
just-
puncher.
Seriously. And
Broad soccer.
And also, and notice how they haven't made that one into a tank top yet. That would be way too many implications.
Anyway, Daria was awesome in this match. She was really.
Well, we got a
beating the
couple of other
piss
things.
out of people.
We got a couple of other things. Sorry, it's okay. We'll get there. We see
sorry,
a
I thought
package
we
on
were
Bobby Roode. A look at Asuka versus
Saw Bobby Roode's package.
We saw Bobby Roode's package.
Fabergé and all.
Fabergé and all. We got a look at Asuka Bailey 2. And we got this, it was this weird, like, hybrid music video interview package for No Way Jose versus Aries and Rude versus Almas. But I really dug it.
Interesting. These two feuds seem to be intersecting a bit. Interesting.
Yeah, I have a grand plan.
Do you?
I believe that at NXT Takeover Brooklyn, I feel like if you've got
Two Brooklyn's,
To
two
the second.
Floridas.
Brooklyn to the second.
Yeah, it's square.
So you got two matches,
Brooklyn's
right? Each match is a Latin-themed superstar who seems to have sort of been left behind in the progression of things, versus a freshly nude, freshly healed former TNA.
Freshly
guy.
nude.
Freshly new.
Oh.
Although we did see the Bobby Roode package. I personally believe that we're going to pull a classic Teddy Long at the TakeOver pay-per-view.
Oh, you think that those two matches are going to become one match at that pay-per-view?
I feel like that might be the case.
Right.
I feel like maybe we're going to get a tag match out of that, because if you have Aries and Rude on the same show and
A
they're
tag team match.
Yeah, he doesn't know. It's usually me that gets that cue.
I feel like it's
the
going to work.
big
You can't have the dirty heels and not put them together.
Yeah.
Especially when they're acting exactly the same.
I think it'll come around. I think that's going to happen, but it's going to be after TakeOver. You have the match that's the singles matches. That'll happen. Then they come together. There'll be some shenanigans. Then they'll come together. Then we'll have a tag match. And then the next TakeOver, something.
Well, no, the next one is Respect, so we're getting to the Dusty Classic. So them forming tag teams would make sense at this time.
Yeah, and also I feel like the Bobby Roode match was just sort of thrown together so haphazardly. Like there wasn't really any build. He was just like, I don't have a match. You don't have a match. We're wrestling.
Well, see, I viewed it as, and we talked about this last week, I viewed it as he was really psyched about getting a match on TakeOver, and he views Almas as a tomato can, like as being totally nobody. So he's viewing it as a showcase for Bobby Roode to impress the entire NXT universe.
Sure.
Yeah. He said it pretty up front. We
But now the dirty heels in NXT can be called Glorious Sparkle Butt.
Yeah, because we package in one place and butt on the other. Butt package.
Party up front, party in the back.
It's a sexual
Party up front, totally different party in the back.
It's a little bit too long. You can't put that on a t-shirt. But you can put I'm not like
Well, they
most on
put
there.
stuff on the back of the shirt.
There you go. Just party. That's
I'm
it.
not like most parties.
I'm not, let's just get I'm not like most to be a theme for the WWE shop. In the back, William Regal talks about how great of an event Brooklyn is going to be. Billie Kay interrupts. Best takeover? I'm not on it. I find that hard to believe. So Regal makes the match. Her against the debuting Ember Moon. Mm-hmm. Stoked. Billie Kay showed her dominance last week, in a manner of speaking. It took her a little while, but she got there. And so we're getting this match. What does everybody think about it? We'll talk, in depth at the end.
Wasn't
But
it you who just said that they were throwing together takeover matches? Perfect example. They just threw this one together. It seems like they're just trying to fill it out last second.
Sure. At least this one has the benefit of being one of those classic takeover. This is a new person showing up. Yeah. At least they announced the opponent ahead of time and don't just have Billie Kay show up in the ring at takeover and be like, now I need a match. And then, of course, Ember Moon's going to show up. I honestly believe, I know we'll talk about it more, but the second that Ember Moon hits her finish on Billie Kay, she's going to be the most popular person on the show. There's no way that finish isn't going to be the most immediately over thing ever on NXT.
better than Bobby Roode's music.
Yeah.
Maybe not better than Adam Rose's original entrance,
Yeah.
That's a list.
but it's very close. It's in that same ballpark. I'm very, very excited for that.
That's some top talk. So let's get to the main event. The main event match, as opposed to the interview. Carmella versus Liv Morgan. Carmella, Liv Morgan, and Nikki Glenncross versus Alexa Bliss, Daria Berenato, and Mandy Rose. Bill.
Yeah, Daria Berenato was such a beast in this match, and she looks great. And honestly, she looked way better than I thought she would, and I was super impressed by her short time. I mean, everyone got a short time in this match, and I thought Mandy looked way better than I was expecting.
That's the great thing about
Six-man
matches. All you do is the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised necessarily about Daria because I know she's been getting the reps in. She's been doing so many live events for NXT that there's no way she would have been particularly bad in her debut. There was maybe a couple of moments where she could have been a little bit better. There was a little stutter step, something I didn't like that I saw, but other than that, I think everybody looked absolutely great.
And I loved how Corey was selling Mandy.
Yeah.
So great.
Everybody shut up!
She's just the new Eva Marie in NXT, and that's totally fine.
It should have ran its gold. Yeah, pretty much.
Gold standard.
Palette swap.
Yes.
One thing that I really liked about Daria.
You held down Y, and oh, that's Mandy Rose.
Seriously, one thing that I really loved about Daria is the same thing that I loved about Rachel Levy on Raw, which is that so many people, especially in women's wrestling, like they have very, very long hair. Yeah. They've got like the 50 feet of hair extensions, and it's just hair everywhere. And in combat sports, generally, when you have long hair, you tie your hair back. Yeah, and I really appreciate that. I feel like you can have the hair in your street clothes if you're King Cuerno in a cowboy hat, Dwight Yoakam outfit. That's cool. But when you're actually
in the streets, Yoakam in the
right. I feel like the end game of Sasha Banks snatching edges is that everyone should put their freaking hair up.
Yeah.
I mean, even I've started to put my hair up.
Yeah.
'Cause it gets in. The worst part about having long hair in a wrestling ring is the moment it gets in your face and you have to take a deep breath and suddenly you are choking. No, you aren't eating it. Yeah. You cannot breathe. And you are just clawing at your own face to relieve the hairball that is now stuck in your trachea.
Is it like when you swallow a piece of pizza but the cheese is still attached? Except it's your hair and your head?
Yeah.
It's all one giant thread of hair.
Yeah. It kind of makes me sick to my stomach thinking about it because I know how that feels.
And you just Ouroboros your own face.
Yeah.
Pulled into the
and
void.
he's swallowed himself out of existence. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Join us next week when Bateman will be going.
Well, you got to do the 10 count. If you swallow yourself out of existence, you have to count of 10 to reform again.
It's like an Ant-Man.
Existence.
The end of Ant-Man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, but you used to use your hair as a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words. I still, it's become too much. It
Like
has gained
Kabuki
its own.
quantifier.
Yeah.
I was thinking more
pull.
like Jack
Such a
Bauer when he
pull.
threatened to make that guy swallow that towel and then pull his stomach out.
Probably should have done that on the internet.
Makes you swallow my hair.
I would submit.
What?
It's like that
Bring it.
saw trap where they put a fish hook down into your stomach and you have to pull it out with a key on it.
Oh God.
Yeah, with your hair.
So wrestling.
Just like that.
Fish, okay?
Nikki Glencross. What everybody think about her debut?
She's the best in the galaxy.
Yeah.
She's just wait till she talks. They did a Facebook Live thing for the Olympics, and she was a big part of it. She was the loudest, funniest thing about that, and I cannot wait for her to just be given backstage camera time. Just talk. Just let her go. She'll be absolutely fantastic. On par with Bailey. Like if I was to elect somebody to be the potential replacement for Bailey coming up, it would be Nikki Glencross.
I would sort of nominate her for replacement Enzo. 'Cause she's got that same sort of vibe where like she shows up and she's this little firecracker thing and she just won't stop talking and just clever things keep coming out of her mouth and she's so confrontational. Like I really enjoy that and that's what made Enzo work, I think.
But also, while we're talking about like the roles that people can fill, I think that Daria could possibly fill that role of the bruiser that Nia has left. Because I mean, every women's division needs a good bruiser.
True, but I don't know if she doesn't have the advantages that Nia has.
Sure.
She's just sort of like
But she hits
an Oscar.
much harder than the other.
Very hard.
Right. I mean, she was wearing boots, and some of those kicks tonight were absolutely devastating. The sound, the crack. Oh,
Chunky
I think there was
kicks.
a ribbon there.
Chunky kicks.
Who's chunky?
That's none of your damn business. AJ0314 in the chat says Daria would have kicked Bart Gunn's ass in Brawl for All.
That's true.
Totally agree.
And that's a prediction you can bet on, Mark.
Thanks, Bill. After it's too good. Carmella ends up hitting the code of silence for the win, but everybody got a good chance to show off what makes them special. Alexa Bliss, as a ring general, just going like, no, get me back in there so I can stomp her head into the ground. All right, go back. You go back and do the work, and I'll just be hanging out here. Yeah, super excited that Alexa and Carmella are on SmackDown now, but I hope they get a championship to fight for soon. We get an Ember Moon promo, just finalizing that what we've known for weeks, that she's going to be debuting at TakeOver Brooklyn. And our main segment to end the show was a double interview with Byron Saxton interviewing Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura with a whole bunch of security surrounding them. Started out relatively nice. What was Shinsuke Nakamura wearing?
He looks like a 6-year-old girl cosplaying Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Yeah, well, they were talking a lot about the dojo where they came from, which is in Los Angeles. That's the old dojo. And I think Nakamura was channeling that and dressing like a cholo. For Los Angeles' sake. You know, bringing it back home. Yeah, he just needed to tie it
his
back,
roots.
put on a bandana, and, lean a bit. There you go.
They should be careful and check to see if he's secretly an undercover cop, because I hear that happens a lot in pro wrestling.
It's true. Yeah.
Was he wearing a wire?
You wearing a wire?
I mean, it was buttoned all the way up, and he was kind of leaning towards Joe. Yeah, maybe it's possible.
I hope Lorenzo Lamas shows up at NXT TakeOver.
I hope so too. And they
should
raid the Barclays Center just to take out Nakamura. Oh my God, stuff that he's just there illegally. He just didn't renew his green card or whatever. So I mean, yeah, fun interview. Ended in a brawl.
Almost brawl.
Almost brawl.
Once again, Nakamura is getting Joe's goat and getting him super hot. He's gonna misstep. He's gonna make a mistake. He's gonna lose that championship.
Yeah,
If he buys into it, he's gonna lose it.
you're absolutely correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can't add more when you're
Spoilers.
absolutely correct.
It's absolutely correct.
I do it a lot. Very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't sound like it.
No.
No,
I think
And I'm saying that as your friend.
no, I know. I know.
He knows he's not. He knows he's not smart.
7 whole years.
I gotta be honest with you. Like, I love Nakamura as much as the next guy, but I hope Joe eats his lunch at TakeOver.
Yeah.
Like, I hope Joe just rips him to pieces. I just want to see a man facing that level of hubris. Like, Nakamura is not harmed by anything. Like, he has not faced adversity for 1 second since being in NXT. Even when he gets his leg beaten up for 25 minutes, he's just like, my leg's fine, knee to the face. And it's like, come on, dude.
We're
like,
back to that, are we?
That's a good point.
if the toughest people on the show can't hurt or intimidate this guy, and Samoa Joe can't intimidate him, and he's stealing his nose, like, Joe needs to wreck him.
That's a
Joe
big
needs
nose.
Joe needs to like break his arm or something. Like, he needs to just absolutely end him, and I want to see it happen. I absolutely do.
Cool. Well, I mean, no, very cool. No, seriously. Sorry, I didn't mean it to be like a blasé throw-off transition, because I really want to talk about all of the matches at Brooklyn in depth. But before we do that, we need to tell you about our sponsor. This episode of the AfterBuzz TV NXT After Show is sponsored by DraftKings.
Bill.
And if
He didn't pick up on my segue when I tried to.
I want you to do something again.
no, but you do that when we don't have live reads. So
I also did it when we did have live read.
yeah, it's been a while.
Well, all I gotta say
What
is
is
that
happening to us?
Samoa Joe potentially breaking Shinsuke Nakamura's arm is a prediction you can bet on. Mark?
Thanks, Bill. Before we get to our
Now you do
official
it. You do
predictions
it now.
of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, back to Brooklyn.
Keep going.
Let's talk about DraftKings, who's a wonderful sponsor of the show. Football season is coming up. Football is your passion. I know that. You're watching wrestling.
But we know you're watching wrestling, but we know you're thinking about football.
You're thinking.
You dirty boys and girls.
Thinking
You
football.
got eyes on the wrestling and one hand on your balls.
Footballs.
Your footballs.
Yeah.
You know all the
What did I
players
say?
and teams, their strengths and weaknesses. Now put that knowledge to the test and play for your shot at $1 million.
$1 million.
$1 million, which is the top prize.
Holy smokes!
You could buy so many dead doves with $1 million.
I can buy live doves with $1 million.
Gasp.
I can buy show doves.
Ooh.
Can't use this live read. All right. You know football is your passion. You can enter for the $1 million top prize at DraftKings.com. It's just part of the $5 million prize pool that they do have in the Week 1 contest. So here's what you got to do. You got to go to DraftKings.com. It is the destination for 1 week fantasy football. No season-long commitments. You play whenever you want with the players you want. You just pick your contest, draft your players, and follow your team live. Renew your old rivalries by challenging friends and family in a private league to prove you're the superior general manager, or join an existing league and go head-to-head with friends, coworkers, and fantasy players from all across the country. Here you go. You hurry to DraftKings.com now to choose your players, and you can get some serious cash just for Week 1. So use the code BUZZ to play for free and with your first deposit. That's BUZZ to play for free and get your share of the $5 million in total prizes for Week 1 only at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See website for details. Thank you, DraftKings.
I choose Steve Mongo McMichael with my first pick.
Oh, you know what? If we could pick anybody from any year, I think that would be top of any.
Let me
any
tell you
year.
something, my friend. We're going to be watching NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, baby, and it's going to be some hot WCW action right here tonight. Look at the little guy. He's dressed up like Shinsuke Nakamura. He's got his eyes on. We're going to have fun tonight, my friend.
Yep.
I got my eyes on.
I just gotta say, that kind of took a turn in the middle there, where it's like, renew old rivalries, challenge your friends and family, like,
And your ex-girlfriend.
F you, Aunt Diane! I've been waiting for this. The Patriots are gonna crush you.
Thanks, AfterBuzz. Now I can take out my stepbrother.
Yeah.
Step bro.
Took my lunch
Steve's not
money
my real dad.
He keeps touching my drums.
with various places of his body.
I know you moved it, man. The Zildjian was all out of place.
You touch my china, bro?
You know what? Drums are really sort of the ultimate status symbol.
Thanks, Bill. And with that, let's get to our predictions.
I thought it was gongs. Gongs for
Yeah,
status
it's
symbol.
kind of,
Just gonna throw up.
Sorry,
I'm gonna puke.
sorry.
Let's go. God,
Yoshi style.
let's go.
That was really good.
For AfterBuzz TV.
So let's talk about NXT TakeOver. Back to Brooklyn. Let's start with Ember Moon versus Billy King.
Ember Moon.
Yeah. Okay, Ember Moon.
Ember Moon is dope.
Nobody thinks the Ice Queen. Cool.
Billy Kay's been on a roll.
Yeah, she's on a winning streak.
She's been I don't know, not much going on, but she's been winning.
Sorry, what was that, Mister? What's that, Porky?
She is. as boring as possible, but she still manages to win. So maybe, I don't know, something incredible
What if she
will happen.
blasts her with her ice powers and then just shatters her like the T-1000?
I wish.
That would
I
be amazing.
really
Like, Ember
wish.
Moon made her debut. Oh no, she's been shattered
She's
into
been
a million
cracked
pieces.
in half.
She's
Oh
been
my God.
fatality Sub-Zero style.
I wish.
Dude, that would give that big boot of hers an extra kick. An extra kick.
What if we
but
find out that Glacier was her dad?
that would
Yes.
be awesome.
Don't
He's
screw
still
with me like
around.
that, Bill.
Don't play with
screw
my
it.
They
emotions.
watch this.
Don't play with my heart. Who watches
Don't go
this?
breaking my heart.
Glacier.
Glacier watches this?
Yeah, Glacier definitely watches.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the Glacier.
Hi, Glacier. I love you. I miss you. Tell Ernest the Cat Miller I said hi.
Please, Mr. Glacier was my father.
Solid Glacier reference. So No Way Jose versus Austin Aries.
Aries.
I'm gonna say Aries by DQ.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Jose's gonna go ham on him and just beat him
Jose
senseless?
refuses
I
to
think-
stop dancing and get in the ring.
No, I think Aries is going to go a little bit too far to make sure that he gets out of there physically
Well,
okay.
Jose wins by DQ.
Yeah, Jose wins by DQ.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
there.
Jose wins by DQ. Forgive me. I can speak.
What do
Bill.
you-
I still solidly believe that they're mashing up those matches. I honestly do. And if they don't, I'm gonna give it to Aries because he needs a big takeover win. I think that's good for him because
It's gonna be cheap. I can't imagine it being.
Yeah,
it would be
think-
absolutely unfair.
I think Aries wins by chicanery. He managed to get the better of
last chicanery.
yes, the last chicanery. He managed to beat Corbin at the last takeover or at Takeover Dallas by just outsmarting him and being the better wrestler. I think this time he defeats No Way Jose by being a piece of crap,
Sounds
a
about right.
smart piece of crap.
sparkly piece of crap.
Yeah.
Sparkle
like when
crap.
you eat glitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks,
y'all
Hobo.
don't eat glitter?
Not in a while.
Well, I mean, we can see right on his trunks that Austin Aries does.
Yeah. See, I eat
Those are
it
some
and then
thin
I-
trunks.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
I sell it at the swap meet. I put googly eyes on it.
Explosive glitter diarrhea. Googly butt?
Yes.
That's
That's what's missing from his butt. Googly eyes.
It's a different connotation altogether. Bobby Roode versus Andrade Cien Almas. I want Roode to take it so bad, but it's a difficult one.
Good.
Yeah, these are both pretty hard to.
Two people on the up and up.
Maybe almost by DQ on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go Bobby Roode. Although it seems pretty fitting that if the guy would build himself up as glorious so repeatedly, that the payoff for that would be him losing in some embarrassing way.
Now that you mention it, what if his entrance is like 10 minutes long
good.
And it's
with
just one
lights
double
and
knee.
thing? Exactly, and he just
Yeah.
throws him in the corner, double knees, and it's a quick match.
I feel like that might be the way to go, especially if Aries is gonna go over No Way Jose, because you can't just have both of them win in the same one.
And 6 matches in a takeover is a lot for 2 hours.
That lends credence to the
It-
thought that it might get.
It might be quick, like I can imagine.
it should be really
so
quick,
Bobby
yeah.
Roode gets in and he thinks so much of himself. Almost gets on a roll. Roode grabs a chair. Almost wins. Disqualification.
But will that do almost any favors? Because I feel like he keeps sort of being
Yeah,
back
almost
into a corner
sort
where
of
nothing's
needs a
working.
showcase match at this point.
Yeah.
His first match was a showcase match. He doesn't need any more. He can do flashy stuff.
And
Who
the
cares?
other guy got cheered more in his debut match, though.
Right,
And
so-
he hasn't really recovered from that. I don't.
So if you take away the flashy stuff from the flashy guy and allow the bad guy to be the bad guy, then you kind of get where you want to go.
Fair enough.
But let's remember, Oni Lorcan is getting back to his roots.
That's right.
Right.
Still getting back to
Still
him.
getting back.
It's a long journey.
Just,
He planted himself on the ground, water himself. My roots.
He's gonna go visit the family Lorcan.
yeah.
The Lorcan family crest, which is just a guy going. Next, we get
It's a guy confusedly going, Oni Lorcan.
Busick was better. Now we're getting into our title matches: the Revival versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Is the gold going to switch hands?
Tough to say. Tough to say. I think it stays with the reigning champions.
They get hard
Right now.
all day, all night.
Just as a reminder, that song is best heard as being sung by bears.
So yeah.
Hard.
Just imagine 2 bears, like country bears style. Just, yeah.
Metal ass country bands.
Metal ass country bears. Perfect.
right.
Yes.
Let's go Thunderlips and Henry. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think if we're gonna lead to the Dusty Classic, I personally, and this isn't gonna happen, but it's what I'd like to happen. Aries and Bobby Roode teaming up. They're clearly going to be the best team on the show if they team up. So, if you're going to try to get the belts off the Revival and get the belts to Aries and Rude, what better way than have Gargano and Ciampa pull off a surprising win, transition those belts away? The Revival's already 2-time NXT Tag Champs. Yeah. What else can they do? You know, we know they're good. We know they can win matches. Just send that alone. I
personally think that it's a little bit too early for Gargano and Ciampa to win, so I think Revival's going to retain here. And maybe Gargano and Ciampa will win either at the next takeover or at a house show, even like they did with the NXT title, or at a taping.
Because
I think it's just
a Dusty Classic.
I think it's just a little bit too early because I think that the Revival's been ducking them ever since they lost to them, so it's not out of the question for the Revival to cheat to win or cheat to keep their belts or walk out, and then that gives Tommaso and Ciampa, a moral victory Tommaso and Gargano.
It's fine, they're Italian. It's
Gargan Chomp. It gives them a chance.
That's actually the tag team name that they've been teasing. Gargan Chomp.
Gargan Chomp.
Yeah.
That's
Chomp, Garg.
Title of some Vor searches. It gives them an automatic excuse to get back in the title picture and get a rematch.
Gargachomp was my favorite Super Mario 2 villain.
But that one wasn't even canon. That was a Doki Doki Panic reference. Yeah, I think
It was canon. It was Lucky Canon.
that was good.
My favorite
Cotton
NXT.
would if he could, but he can't.
I'm gonna
Jacob's house is dirty because he's got Novak.
Just keep going back.
It's amazing.
I think regardless we're gonna get a good match, but I agree. I think the Revival is gonna win through chicanery, to borrow an old classic. Asuka versus Bayley.
Hijinks. Huh?
Asuka versus Bayley.
Yeah,
For the
that's a
NXT
match.
Bailey gonna get got.
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
Bailey wrestles a great match. She dies a heinous death. She gets the applause of a loving crowd, and then she gets to
If
go
you
be
thought-
a TV millionaire.
If you thought that we cried when she won the title, and if you thought that we cried when she lost the title, imagine how hard we're going to cry when Asuka kicks her head all the way into Izzy's arms. Like the guy in Godfather.
He's covered in blood now.
Yeah. Just a blood-drenched Carrie, Izzy, and she just starts exploding heads.
Yes.
That's the worst out of context sentence I think I've ever. I just want to see Izzy covered in blood. Like, nope.
Period.
He is not the first person on the internet to say that, sadly.
People sucking her off.
I know,
They really
they're the
do.
worst.
They really are
Is
the worst
anybody
people.
taking Bailey in this one?
Oh God. no.
Yeah.
It's already been on TV. Like, it's not going back. Can't go back.
She's been roadblocked, so she has to be on the roster now.
There's no way out of this match for Bailey. Nobody else.
Helena Cell.
Helena Cell.
Helena Cell.
Yeah.
NSL.
Yeah.
It's the special.
She should come with her boots fully loaded.
Sounds like they got some bad blood to take care of. Speaking of bad
I
blood,
had some
tell us
water in
what-
here, but now it's mostly backlash.
Come,
If you drink that, it's going to be your judgment day.
Samoa Joe.
Are we almost done, or are we still Armageddon there?
Nope.
I hope Kathy is watching.
I'm sure we're gonna get a tweet from her about this one.
We're just getting boos from the crowd in the chat room.
Yeah,
event.
we satisfied
We did
no
it.
one.
We did it.
We do it every week, Bill.
love pissing everyone off.
Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. This one could go either way.
Joe retains.
Never mind.
I think Samoan Joseph will retain his title.
Yeah, I think the only progression is revealing that Joe is the one who hurt Itami and then building Itami up against Joe.
Oh, that'd be really
I feel like that's the only way to go.
Best
so
way
he
to
retains.
get him out of the way so he can come up and be right in the picture.
And Shinsuke doesn't need it.
No.
Like, he does not need the NXT Championship.
No.
So,
Not at all.
so why not?
Friggin' huge.
Yeah.
Shinsuke Nakamura comes in one size.
He does. He does.
Astute.
6-year-old
Red.
Dan Bryan.
What size shirt are you? Red.
He's still learning English. He's still learning English.
No, that's Hobo. He's also still learning English.
Still learning English.
Yeah.
What?
I think so. I think Samoa Joe's gonna take this one. Yeah. So it.
All right, so we're all in agreement.
Yeah, we're all good. Adjourned.
But who's going to win between Authors of Pain and TM61 on the pre-show?
Oh, is that a pre-show match?
I mean, that's got to be. Come on.
Or is it gonna be?
It's going to be the following
The
week.
pre-show match is R-Truth versus Wade Barrett.
Ooh.
Is it for the
For
kingship?
for the king. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
got the scepter, plunger.
That's still happening, right? Like, I haven't been paying
sure.
attention.
Actually, I think the pre-show is Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, even though Dolph Ziggler is also in the main event.
Yeah, they're doing that. This is like their 100th time.
Yeah.
With my second
gotta celebrate.
pick
Best
in
of
the
100 series.
DraftKings draft, I choose Baron Corbin.
Very good. No, Roman Reigns played the NFL.
For the Cardinals.
Yes.
REC.
And
Robbie Corvette.
Robbie Corvette.
Robbie Corvette.
the Lorne Warloff. So let us know down in the comments who you think is going to take all of the gold at Brooklyn.
of
Before
it.
we go,
of
every
it.
single gold.
One person.
The gold burglar. It's like the hamburglar. Just a
I want to
reminder.
be the gold burglar.
Does he say like Beltle?
Awful. But he like chokes it out.
Bill, he says rumble, rumble.
All right. Is that like
I'm
how
ready.
the WrestleMania theme song starts with "It's time for the Survivor Series"?
Are you ready for the Survivor Series? Who will survive?
Just a quick reminder. We are running a contest right now for one of these exclusive Comic-Con Boom Comics covers.
Comics.
We do not know what the... Very good.
SOS.
We do not know
hear
what
them
the comic
shouting.
book cover is because it's a secret. So, the easiest way to do this, because it's the only way to do this, we're looking for glory bombs. Send us your glory bomb if you're going to take over this weekend. If you see Bobby Roode around, accost him and try to get a glory bomb, and you may win this wonderful, exclusive, one of a five-kind Boom Comics comic book cover.
It's dangerous to look for glory bombs on Twitter because if you start searching for them, you can really fall down a glory hole.
Couldn't even keep it together for that one. Couldn't even.
And with
Let's
that,
wrap.
and with that, gentlemen, that will take us to the end of today's episode of the NXT After Show right here at AfterBuzz TV. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
This
Thank
is
you
a
for
weird
having
one.
me.
Please come back.
I will be happy to.
We
You had
love
too
the
much
weird.
fun.
Stop it! No, we love the weird episodes. Our audience might not, but hell, we're making the show for you. So, tell us a little bit of what's going on at Uprocks right now in the wrestling sector.
You can find us at Uprocks writing about people getting suspended and or things that happened 19 years ago that no one really cares about. Like Jim Duggan, who is the worst wrestler of all time and won't stop cheating. Jim Duggan, if you're watching this 20 years ago, stop pulling tape out of your tape.
Watching
It doesn't make
AfterBuzz
any
ask Jim
sense.
Duggan.
He does. After Buzz watching Ask Jim Duggan. But no, you can find us there. The wrestling portal, if you just type withspandex.com, you can go right to it. Mr. Bill Hanstock has joined our team in the past few months and has made it a much, much more enjoyable site than we've ever had even before. It was just god-awful before. But then Bill Hanstock showed up, and Bill Hanstock is a writer you can bet on.
Thanks, Brendan. Bill?
We start over again. Hi, you can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel and, of course, with spandex.com, uprocks.com/sports. Read everything that Brandon Stroud ever writes on the internet and share it and tell your friends about it. And if you see me in New York City during SummerSlam weekend, say hello.
Please do. Hobo.
I'm a wrestler. Yep. At Twitter.
You can choke on his hair at hairchoke.biz.
And you can choke on... That's a
That's
hair you can
different.
choke on.
That's a little different. At True Hobo on the Twitter. What's going on? I'm going to the old wrestling extravaganza next weekend. I don't know. This is the worst episode for me. I've been doing this for like 3 years. I have thoroughly shit the bed here. And like, we get one, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be at ROH this weekend if the fire allows us to drive there without melting. Fight TV, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I'm a tag team champion. I'm a much better wrestler than I am a podcaster this week.
Disagree.
Do you?
Thank you, Hobo. I'm Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. I do a whole bunch of shows here for the AfterBuzz Network as well as Popcorn Talk. The Star Wars podcast that I host on there is approaching its 100th episode, so follow at Jedi_Alliance and subscribe to the Popcorn Talk Network if you like movies, because they talk about movies. It's pretty great. Enter into our Glory Bomb contest in order to get this sweet comic book cover. And yeah, we're figuring out what we're doing for Takeover because both Bill and Hobo are going to be out of town.
Yeah, when do
But
you come back?
We'll talk about that,
figure that out.
after the dang
We'll
show.
talk about it before the show next week.
Let's tease
Very
it.
good.
Tease it now.
So thank you everybody for joining us on this very, very, very special final episode of the NXT After Show on AfterBuzz TV. We will see you in Brooklyn.
Never!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.